Hi Virgo, welcome to your mid-November 2019 General Tarot Update. It's Raina here. I just got two cards associated with Neptune and Pisces, so there you go. And I gotta remember to put it back in the deck the other way, because now it's showing up upside down all the time. Okay. The heart of the matter is the Hangman in reverse. This is a card of, like, making a decision for somebody else sometimes, where they're kind of they're kind of like acting indecisive, and you're tired of waiting. And this could be, I'm thinking that this might be something with a work situation, like either getting hired somewhere or some kind of promotion, raise, and you may be tired of waiting because you feel like it's creating this sense of, like, negatively impacting your self-esteem. Like you might be like, I deserve this, I've been here, I've put in the effort, why is there so much indecisiveness? If this is a personal matter, we could say something similar. Somebody is involved with another person, and they're like, yeah, I'm going to end that relationship, and they haven't done so. And you're tired of waiting because you feel kind of jerked around by another person. And it doesn't feel good, which is, normal. It doesn't feel good to be jerked around. So you may be a little bit irked by that and feeling like, why can't I have what I want? Why do I have to kind of like, be controlled by somebody else and their whims? In the past position, we have the Seven of Cups. This is a card of confusion sometimes, or wishful thinking. I think that you kind of may have put faith in somebody that wasn't deserving of it. That maybe stringing you along somehow. And it's like you may have, it's like kind of like when you're waiting for somebody to do something, and then after a while you just keep waiting because you've already invested so much time. It's like one of those things. The Hangman in reverse can also be that you are done kind of being the person who's always sacrificing in a relationship. With the Seven of Cups, you may have even experienced addiction yourself that clouded your judgment, and now that you're sober, you're able to see how you participated in a relationship that wasn't healthy, that was very, like, sacrificial. That's what the Hangman in the upright position is. It's about sacrifice. But in the reverse position, it's like, I'm done with sacrificing. And this can actually be true of anybody who has dealt with, like, a narcissist or, someone like that, who they fool you into thinking one thing, and you kind of are deluded about this. And then when it dawns on you what's really happening, it's like blowing your mind. Like, oh my gosh, I can't believe that I allowed that to happen, because you were under the impression that they were other than what they truly are. And once you really saw who they were, it was just like such an eye-opener. The higher message is the Wheel of Fortune. So this is about alignment, and maybe even suggesting that this is something that is coming up for you. Actually, the card, the Wheel of Fortune, is connected to Jupiter. And Jupiter is going into Capricorn next month in December. And when it does, it's going to form a friendly angle with you, since you are also an earth sign, Virgo. And when that happens, this is going to affect your first, there's going to be a trine from your first house to your fifth house, which is the house of romance, pleasure, the business that you own, children, and things like that. So you have a lot to look forward to in terms of that Jupiter placement. You may just be like totally deciding that you're going to have a good time, for the next year. You're not going to sweat the small stuff. You're just going to go to a lot of plays and concerts and, ball games. And maybe there's a special someone. Jupiter in the fifth house is great for you to have the opportunity to meet a new love interest, because you may get like a lot of people, there's that sense of expansion. So maybe in terms of timing, this is kind of a blip, and actually is nudging you into working for yourself if other factors support it. What crosses you is the Queen of Swords, so I'm reading this as a reversed card. And this can be anything from a facet of you to somebody who is kind of like demeaning you in some way. An example would be if you are like waking up to how a person is treating you. If this person is your mother, it may be harder for you because you're seeing her in that role, or you're thinking, well, that this is, you don't leave your family, you don't do things like that. That's not okay. And so it's harder for you to, escape that kind of negative pattern. Maybe you feel like you're obligated to deal with a mother, even if she is a put-down artist, or just, says things that are really, not kind. You may still feel like you should have a relationship with her. And the other thing too is that this could be the situation of a boss, and they have the power to fire you. So for instance, when I talked about sacrifice, and I was saying maybe you really gave a lot to your job in hopes of it paying off sometime down the line. Maybe you gave up weekends, you gave up nights, who knows. Maybe you even gave up a job that would have paid more because you thought that this was somehow something, good, and you're just starting to wake up, and it feels like it's not something good, that it's something negative. And you can't understand, why is this happening to me? And probably one of the reasons is because your approach was looking at it from the position of that this is what you have to do to make it. I had a similar experience somewhere where I was working, where I decided right when I got hired that I was going to be indispensable. And what I discovered that was very illuminating is that a lot of times you will not get special treatment for actually giving of yourself. And sometimes the people that are the most selfish and whatever are the ones that are treated the best, because if you're dealing with a boss who is very narcissistic, for instance, they tend to have very particular likes and dislikes, and they will, kind of reward people that might not even deserve it over some that do, simply because that person is more of a butt kisser or whatever it is, or if there's just something that they admire about that person, and they will be prejudiced in that sense. And the thing is, it's so the hangman reverse is get off the cross, stop sacrificing, hoping that you're going to get whatever it is that you're looking for, and be more willing to realize when somebody's jerking you around, so that you can leave, so that you're not, and don't be afraid of somebody's rudeness. Just leave if you can. Obviously sometimes you have to stay, but the Queen of Swords in the reversed position, the challenge position here, could be that you secretly believe what they're saying, and that's unfortunate. That's not good. What's coming in is the Chariot. This is a card of victory. One thing I wanted to say, I don't know if I really made this clear, but with the Wheel of Fortune, you could be aligning yourself maybe with something that you create yourself. You will have a solar eclipse in that 5th house of the business that you own right around Christmas time. So that could be, pointing you to something much better than what you have. In personal relationships, if you're waiting for somebody to make up their mind, and then you're indecisive about whether or not to leave, yes, that is a problem. The Chariot is about marshaling your forces, about getting your head together so that you can make the right decisions. Not being, carried away by your emotion that feels dissed, that feels like, why am I always in this position of, feeling like second best, feeling like I'm not worthy, and, feeling sorry for yourself, but not really seeing, how you got there. Because when you really look, you can see everything that took place, what your beliefs were, how you acted, and how you attracted a particular person, and how they viewed you. How they see you and how they respond to you based on that. The outcome is the Knight of Wands. I think that you're going to gather the courage to be able to kind of like not care what other people are thinking about you, and whether or not like if you quit, that it's just going to go all downhill from there. That maybe, they say jump and a net will appear. And I kind of smile at that, because I'm like, okay, all right, if you say so. Because, of course, we get a little nervous, don't we, when we're taking big leaps of faith. So you're talking to somebody that's pretty cautious. So, but, the Knight of Wands can be an attitude. It can just be like a feeling that maybe I'm not ready to move on just yet, but I know I'm gathering a lot of confidence, and I'm not like worried about where I'm going either. I'm willing to I even see like the Knight of Wands is kind of like pleasure seeking too. Like not into commitment if it's a relationship, not into, maybe being afraid of like even committing on the job and stuff like that. Like maybe it means that you decide that you don't mind if you don't have a steady paycheck. And again, that to me is like pointing to working for yourself if you're working currently for others. But for a lot of Virgos, they may feel like, oh no, I don't like that idea, because I can't guarantee how much money I'm going to make each month. Well, that's true, but you know what? A gambler would look at the odds of that and say that works in my favor, because if I can't guarantee how much I'm going to make, I can make a lot more than what I'm making at this job. That's how they would see it. They would have that kind of a positive attitude, or an adventurous attitude, which I also associate with the Knight of Wands. Okay, that's what I have for you, Virgo. I hope that you received something from that. If you'd like a personal reading, the link is below. Take care. Bye.